Do you have a best friend who is very desi? If you have a best friend who is very desi, you are going to be a very good pediatrician. History taking of pediatrics is very different as compared to history taking of medicine or surgery. It is usually taken from the mother, and depending upon the age of the child, it can also be taken from the old child. Just like history taking, you are going to ask about the demographics. You're going to ask about the name, age, date of birth, sex of the patient, address of the patient, and then is the presenting complaint. Presenting complaint is going to be in the terms used by the patient or the mother herself, and along with it, you are going to write the duration. Third thing is the history of presenting complaint. You can use whichever mnemonic you prefer, like I prefer the one called the Odipara. In the history of the presenting complaint, you are also going to ask about the systemic inquiry, that is, the general symptoms which can be present in diseases of different systems like CVS, respiratory, GIT, CNS, genitourinary, and rheumatological system. Fourth thing is the past history. In this, you are going to ask about the significant medical history and surgical history. You're simply going to ask about any previous hospital admissions or any surgery the child has had in the past. The fifth important thing, and which is different in pediatrics, is the birth history. The birth history is actually divided into the antenatal, the natal, and the postnatal history. It is very much significant in cases of miscarriages, terminations, stillbirths, and neonatal deaths. In antenatal history, you are actually going to ask about the health of the mother before the act of the birth of the baby. We are going to ask about the health and nutritional status of the mother during pregnancy, whether she had taken iron multivitamin tablets or any other drugs, if she suffered from any illness like hypertension, diabetes mellitus, preeclampsia, if she had exposure to irradiation. You also have to ask about the past obstetric history if there had been any complication. You can ask about the maternal vaccination, especially against tetanus. Second is the natal history. This is the history of the delivery, the act of the birth of the baby. Where was the delivery conducted and who was the one who conducted the delivery? What was the technique used? What was the length of the gestation? It could be preterm, term, or postterm. What was the time of the rupture of the membranes? What was the duration of the act of the labor? Whether it was prolonged or precipitated. How the birth took place? What was the type of delivery? It could be spontaneous vaginal. It could be assisted with forceps or vacuum extraction, or it was done with the caesarean section or C-section simply. Was there any sort of sedation or analgesia used during the labor? Was there any abnormal bleeding? The next thing is the postnatal history. What happened to the child right after the act of the birth? Did the child cry immediately after birth, or was he cyanosed or apneic? Was there any need for resuscitation at birth, or any problem with respiration, sucking, or swallowing? Is there any history of significant diseases like fits, fever, jaundice, rash after birth or in the neonatal period? Any procedures such as exchange, transfusion, umbilical artery catheterization undertaken? Then we are going to ask about the feeding history. You can easily remember all these steps. First is the birth history, which consists of the history before birth, during the act of the birth, and after the birth, and right after the birth. Then is the feeding history. After the birth, you are going to feed the baby. Then is the vaccine. After getting the food, you should vaccine the child to prevent the baby from any infectious disease. Then the baby is going to develop. and after developing he is going to go to the school. So in the feeding history you are going to ask about the onset of feeding, how many hours after birth first feed was given, whether he was breastfed or bottle fed, what was the duration of the breastfeeding, at what age the formula milk feeding was started, and what is the composition of formula, its amount and frequency, is any vitamin or iron supplements given, when solids were introduced into the diet, their nature and amount, and what is the current diet. In vaccination history, you are going to ask about the type of vaccination given, the age at which the vaccination was given, and the number of doses, and any significant side effect if it was observed. Next thing is the developmental history, the age at which various developmental milestones are achieved. At least 4 milestones should be asked about from the parents which they can answer easily. The milestones consist of smiling, ability to hold the neck, sit, crawl, stand, walk, talk, and the control of bladder and bowel. Was the age at which the milestone was achieved appropriate for the child? Has there been any regression of the developmental milestone once they were achieved? Then the baby is going to go to the school. In the school, what is going to be the name of the school, the class, the progress report, any special needs or support, any missed school attendance, and relation and behavior with other children, class fellows and friends. Family and social history, the age of the parents. In family history, you have to remember the correlation of the ages of the parents to any disease of the baby. For example, the increased age of the mother at the time of the birth of the baby is associated with Down syndrome. For how many years have the parents been married? Next thing is the consanguinity. Consanguinity is simply cousin marriage. Then is the similar illness in siblings or parents. Education, occupation, and important family history of any disease, number of family members living in the same house or room, family history of any significant disease like hypertension, diabetes, or TB, what is the type of the neighborhood, water supply, arrangement for refuse disposal, any pets at home. Family history and social history is very important in case of pediatrics, because in some cases like chromosomal, hereditary, or infectious diseases, the detail can be very much significant in their diagnosis. Last thing is the drug history. You have to note any medication used, its frequency and dose. You should also ask about the allergies. In neonate or breastfed baby, a maternal drug history is important. Then is the physical examination. The physical examination consists of the journal physical examination and the systemic examination. The journal physical examination is very comparable to that of the adult, but in this case you have to keep in mind few things, that you should build a rapport with the child first. After the greetings, you should inspect the child. Most of the times it is very much favorable that you should have a regional approach as compared to the systemic approach. You should also note the age, and you should also take into account the age and behavior of the child. There should be adequate exposure. You should try to be gentle and smooth with the child, and it is very much advisable that it should be done in the presence of one or both parents of the child. Keeping in mind these points, you can start the GPE. It includes all the steps of the GPE as in adults. If you have not watched the adult GPE steps video, you can watch here. Important thing in the pediatrics general physical examination are the anthropometric parameters. These are simply the height, weight, head circumference, and the nutritional status. The height of the child is usually measured when he is 2 years old. that is normally he is able to stand at that time of his life. You can measure the height, and then is the weight. In all the parameters, you have to remember one thing, that all the measurements should be compared with that of the normal height or weight at that age group. The comparison is the key. In height, you are going to compare the height of the child to the normal height. In weight, you are going to compare the weight. Then is the head circumference. It is very much important to measure the head circumference, especially in case the child is under the age of 2 years. If it is greater, then hydrocephalus is suspected. The skin fold measurements are done. They are very much indicative of the nutritional status of the baby. Few important things you also have to keep in mind in case of the general physical examination of the pediatric age group is that you should also ask about the closure of the fontanelle. At what age group the fontanelle was closed. The normal duration for the closure of the anterior fontanelle is 9 to 18 months of age, and the posterior fontanelle is 3 to 6 months of age. If it is closed earlier, then you should suspect cerebral palsy, hypothyroidism, and craniosynostosis. But if it is closed delayed as expected, you should suspect hypothyroidism, rickets, and malnutrition. You can also note the size of the head. It could be large or it could be small. It could be large in case of hydrocephalus, and it could be small in case of cerebral palsy, craniosynostosis, or any maternal torch infection, especially during the pregnancy period of the baby. The closure of the sutures and the time of the closure of the suture should also be noted. They are usually closed by the 6 months of age. In case of delayed closure, you should suspect hydrocephalus. You can also take a look at the developmental assessment. It is done by comparing the achievement of various milestones at various ages. You can also examine the breast and nipples for size and stage of the development. This was the whole general physical examination. Then is the systemic examination. Systemic examination is done in such a manner. First you look at the patient, then you touch the patient, then you tap the patient, and then you listen to the patient. Now it's time for a quick recap. In case of pediatric history, few important differentiating points are birth history, feeding history, vaccination history, development history, and schooling history. In birth history, we are going to ask about the antenatal, that is the nutritional status and any infection, any vaccination history during the antenatal period. In natal history, you are going to ask about the act of the birth, where it took place, who was the person who assisted in the act of the labor, and what type of instruments were used. Then is the postnatal birth history. You are going to ask about the moment right after the birth of the baby, how the child was performing at that moment. Then is the feeding history, then vaccination history, developmental history. Developmental history is very important as you have to ask about the ages at which the important milestones were achieved. Then is the schooling history, family and social history, and drug history. In case of general physical examination, right after the general physical examination steps, you have to measure the anthropometric parameters. First you will measure the height, weight, head circumference, and nutritional status. The key to all these parameters is that you have to compare all these parameters with the normal age group. You should also note the time at which there was closure of the anterior and posterior fontanelles, the size of the head, the sutures, and the development assessment.